Hello and thank you all for watching. This is Manny Sunny Sun for a special astro report. Mercury has entered Gemini, and on the occasion of this presence of Mercury in Gemini, do an overview of the characteristics of the star of this sign and where it is found in its dignity also. We'll combine with the principle of mobility that Mercury is in Gemini. Um, Mercury is a planet of mobility. It's about transference. It's about keeping the sign of the air quality. Also, it expresses a desire for discontinuous change. It embodies a state that wants transient, transfer, and can be modulated by the environment or the external conditions. Adaptable and gifted to blend into the background, this calls for Mercury, the abundant but also changing, the brain food. The variety of the subjects or interests is highly desirable, um, and it does not keep his mind on the same subject. It can't be dropped out. Uh, Mercury on trade and processing of information is fundamental in each natal chart, since, of course, it reflects the emotional factor as the astrological state of the moon. The way of information is intercepted in most of the ordinary. We retain a communication that passes through your filters. These filters come from our education, but your fields of experience and experiences of memories, the state of the native sky and its current exhibition. The state of your sky is constantly changing, so communication also changed from one period of life to another. And depending on the period of your existence, you are more receptive to certain information or you are detached. Mercury, of course, plays a key role in reasoning and the analysis, and before any situation, even the most innocuous ones. One of his masters, which is, of course, Gemini, it is standard with youthfulness, an emblem of curiosity. He gives the waking period of adolescence, and in which he rushes a lot of questions and desire to experiment in various fields. This Mercury does not analyze as much as a Mercury in Virgo will do his other dignity. Gemini, of course, it is expressed through the geographical mobility and a desire for life changing or example composed of multiple experience, many lifetimes in one. The Gemini mutable sign likes changing role during his life. The rest of the chart it confirms this. However, Mercury in Gemini does not always mean that movement is synonymous with pathways in writing, in literacy, in circles or activities related to groups and young people. Sometimes its presence is felt in the theme that there's only one specific kind of career guidance. The whole theme, sealing the various information, sometimes contrary. It should be careful before a Mercury and Gemini and not draw hasty conclusions. It is the same love. It is also the same in love life. That loving the diversity. Mercury, of course, is a dual nature. In Gemini, is not synonymous with emotional infidelity. We must remember that the sentimental situations do not analyze in a single astrological location, but in the synthesis. Thus, the stars or the aspects on locations are first the climate. The need to involve in others has many projects. Mercury in Gemini has no affinity, but with the sentimental side, it refers primarily to the mind and reasoning and logic. Obviously, his role in the emotional life remains key, but as in any sector of communication, it is fundamental in the emotional life. With couples, with parents, relationships, child family relationship, that sort of thing. But the intellectual gluttony, it is confirmed in the subject that can become an insatiable quest between between feeding the mind um, and and run the world to enrich cultural universe. Mercury in Gemini, therefore, does not always know to choose. He may juggle this duality because, of course, he cannot choose and then give up the other one. The star in Gemini, therefore, is has some has some flexibility in trade and spontaneity. It attracts sympathies, his qualities as a good comrade make someone wanted in society, and appreciate it, but let it breathe and live at their own pace, since from the outside it may reflect an inconsistency. An Aries sign of Gemini welcomes the star or trade and movement. All the star signs and their first steps fit together in an alternating rhythm. Also, routine is not cut off for this astrological location that invites family and friends to change their habits in order to make money. It usually positions make it a trickster. So between cunning and shrewdness, the border between sometimes is held. No doubt, this Mercury knows no boredom. In childhood, it is precocious and curiosity. Thirst is great. This astrological location in Gemini is one of the most the indicates of people which is in old age still young at heart or in physical appearance. This position of Mercury in Gemini is quite beautiful, a butterfly eager to explore life. The current dissonance between Mercury and Gemini, therefore, in addition to the lines of Mercury and Gemini, sometimes in mundane astrology, Mercury in Gemini is back and eventful. This is the program offered currently in the star, in particular in the coming days. Currently, Mercury is in Gemini, opposing Saturn, early in Sagittarius. It's probably the most reliable, durable. About reflections before singling a commitment or an instrument. In mundane astrology, it highlights communications, problems, asking to change its tune. Mercury in opposition to Saturn is played in mutable signs. Those who are to review their positions to unlock the situations. Um, the situations and allow its evolution. Mutable signs act more in flexibility rather than fixed. They are proposed to question, which is why the opposition offers and hopes of negotiation in communication, and which is in most cases it occurs in fixed signs. The opposition claims an adjustment of things after reflection. It is a calculation to better negotiate a situation and implies perseverance before difficulties. Due to the mind of steel, it is the opposition because of stubbornness, resistance with Mercury that encounters Saturn, a tussle involved in this type of configuration that the mutable signs leading to consciousness, to concessions. Excuse me. The astrological climate is a bit complicated by the presence of Neptune in dissonance with Mercury, a signature questioning the reliability and integrity. Therefore, embezzlement, fraud, mistaken identities, misunderstanding, and persistence in bad faith in communications are essential in this brief period with Mercury that stays in the meshes of Saturn and Neptune. Astrological position of Mercury in Gemini is currently in dissonance, as the star simultaneously receives a dissonance of Neptune, which is currently located early in Pisces. Mercury and Gemini, when connecting to these two outer planets, Saturn and Neptune, already in tensions with sows confusion and trade. During this period through May 4th and 2015 to June 30th of 2015, communication is likely to be more contentious and intervenes within itself. It mainly relies on the demotion of Mercury in Gemini to Neptune to complicate situations. Mercury in demotion phase, dissonance Gemini, will begin on May 19th, will end to the late, from which the star will slow down, and in astrology we'll call it retrograde, where the planet seems to move back. And Neptune in Pisces, despite the short-lived episode, this aspect in Mercury, square to Neptune retrograde. Mars in Gemini, in conjunction between Mercury and stimulates the square to Neptune. We are dealing with the aspects that are conducive to communication conduct on indecisiveness. On indicatives of tones of that exhibit an open hostility, with Mercury conjunct Mars dissonance from the aspect of dissonant to Mercury Neptune often results from real comprehension of problems. When dissonance is strong, it conveys an atmosphere of rumors about deformations, about the reputation of others, as well as a fabrication. The universe, of course, of lies, of fraud is fit for Mercury Neptune dissonance. This configuration of Mercury, as complicated and as short-lived as it is, it also causes brain fatigue. In some astrological charts, temporarily reactivated by this aspect. Well, thank you all for watching. This has been a Mercury in Gemini. Thank you for watching.